Good morning, beautiful people. You know, every day you wake up is a gift. Every sunrise is an invitation not just to exist, but to live intentionally. And I'm here to tell you, how you begin your morning determines the quality of your life. I've spoken to leaders, dreamers, healers, and high achievers across the globe, and I can tell you this: success doesn't start at the boardroom. It starts before your feet even hit the floor. So let's talk about that sacred time, those early hours, and how they can shape your destiny. Start with stillness. The power of silence and mindfulness. Begin your day with intentional quiet to set the tone and connect with your inner self. You know, it's a remarkable thing how the world teaches us to run the moment we wake up. We're conditioned to reach for our phones, check the clock, scroll through messages, jump into the noise. But the truth is, the most successful, the most fulfilled people I've ever met, they all begin with the opposite. They start with stillness. Now, I'm not just talking about silence for the sake of quiet. I'm talking about intentional stillness. That small space between sleep and responsibility, where you can reconnect with yourself before anyone else has access to you. In that space, you learn to listen not to the world, but to your own wisdom. And when you listen deeply, you begin to understand that clarity, peace, and direction don't come from outside, they rise from within. Psychologists talk about cognitive priming. The first thoughts of the day set the emotional and mental trajectory for hours. Philosophers have said for centuries that a person who can master their mind in the morning can master their life. And what is mindfulness, really, but the act of honoring the present moment before the day tries to steal it away? I sit, I breathe, sometimes I say nothing, and in that nothing I find everything I need to begin again, calm, grounded, whole. That's not luxury, that's discipline, and it's available to you every single morning. Because the truth is, when you meet the day with stillness, the day learns to meet you with grace. Gratitude first, shaping the mindset of abundance. Expressing gratitude reshapes your thoughts and sets a positive foundation for the day. After stillness, the next thing I reach for isn't a screen or a schedule. It's gratitude. And let me tell you why. Because the mind is a storyteller, and the story it tells first thing in the morning becomes the script for the rest of your day. Gratitude is more than just saying thank you. It's a cognitive reset. It reorients your brain toward abundance. Neuroscience backs this up. Studies show that when we intentionally name what we're grateful for, even just 2 or 3 things, we activate parts of the brain associated with well-being, optimism, and empathy. We begin to perceive the world not as something to survive, but as something to appreciate, to engage with fully. And here's the deeper truth. When you begin your day in gratitude, you're not ignoring the challenges. You're not pretending everything is perfect. What you're doing is claiming authority over your perspective. You're choosing to focus on what's present rather than what's lacking. That shift, philosophically and psychologically, is the foundation of resilience. You may wake up to uncertainty, to responsibilities, to noise. But if your first words are thank you, for the breath in your lungs, for the people you love, for the chance to try again, then you're telling the day, I own my joy. I shape my experience, I lead my energy. Because gratitude, when practiced daily, doesn't just change your mood, it changes your life. Fuel the body, fuel the mind. Healthy morning habits: hydration, light exercise, and nourishing food impact energy and clarity. Once you've grounded your mind and opened your heart, the next step is to honor your body, because success isn't just a mental game. It's physical. Your body is the instrument through which your purpose is expressed. And how you treat it in those first waking moments tells the world and yourself what kind of day you're prepared to create. We often underestimate how powerfully physiology influences psychology, but science makes it clear. Movement, hydration, and nourishment impact everything from cognitive clarity to emotional regulation. Something as simple as stretching for 5 minutes, drinking a glass of water, or stepping outside to feel the sun, it signals to your system that you're alive, engaged, and ready. And let's not forget, your energy is your currency. If you spend the day sluggish, foggy, or drained, it doesn't matter how big your goals are. You won't have the fuel to reach them. The morning is your chance to generate that energy intentionally, to say, this body, this vessel, it matters, and I will not take it for granted. Philosophers like the Stoics taught that mastery over the self begins with the body, that discipline, routine, and care of the physical form are acts of respect not just for yourself, but for the life you've been given. So, as you rise, move with reverence, breathe deeply, nourish intentionally, hydrate fully, because when you care for your body at the beginning of the day, you're not just preparing to function, you're preparing to lead. And energy, when chosen consciously, becomes unstoppable momentum. Set daily intentions. Clarity equals power. Clear intentions and goals align your actions and purpose. Once your mind is calm, your heart is grateful, and your body is energized, there's one more step that sets everything into motion: intention. Before the world comes knocking, before the demands, the emails, the noise, you have a moment of incredible power. That's the moment to ask yourself, what do I want this day to stand for? Intentions are not the same as goals. A goal is an endpoint. An intention is the energy you bring to the journey. It's the internal compass that guides your thoughts, choices, and actions. And the truth is, most people drift through the day reactive, not intentional. They let the external world decide what matters. But when you set a clear intention, you decide what matters. You create alignment between your values and your behavior. Psychologically, this is transformative. The brain thrives on clarity. When you begin your day with even a single, focused intention: today, I will listen more deeply. Today, I will create without fear. Today, I will move with kindness. You prime your consciousness to notice the opportunities to live it out. Philosophically, it's a declaration of authorship. You're not just a participant in the day, you're its creator. And when you show up with that clarity, life tends to rise to meet you. So don't just wake up with direction. Because when you know what you're living for today, you begin to shape not only your schedule, but your legacy. Protect your energy, avoiding digital distractions, early delay screen time to prioritize your own peace before the world demands your attention. And here's something we don't talk about enough: the way we give our energy away before we've even had a chance to claim it. The moment we reach for our phones, we're no longer centered in ourselves. We're reacting to the world. The news, the notifications, the messages, they all come rushing in. And suddenly, your morning belongs to someone else. It's not just a matter of distraction. It's a matter of agency. When you begin your day with digital input, you're inviting in other people's priorities, opinions, and agendas. You're conditioning your mind to be responsive instead of intentional. Neurologically, this floods the brain with dopamine, hijacking focus and increasing stress before you've even brushed your teeth. Now, I'm not saying disconnect forever. We live in a connected world, but what I am saying is postpone it. Give yourself the first 30 minutes. Protect that window like sacred ground. Use it to be with your thoughts, your breath, your body, your vision for the day. That's when your mind is most impressionable. That's when you get to choose the emotional and intellectual tone for everything that follows. Because when you allow the world to shape you before you've shaped yourself, you trade intention for reaction. So wait, delay the scroll, hold the space. Protect your energy like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. Consistency over intensity. The ritual is the reward. A powerful routine doesn't need to be long. It needs to be consistent and meaningful. Let's talk about the part that people so often overlook. Not because they don't care, but because they think success has to look big, dramatic, even exhausting. But that's a myth. The truth is, your morning routine doesn't have to be elaborate. It just has to be yours, and it has to be consistent. We've been trained to value intensity, go hard, do more, fix everything at once. But real transformation, the kind that lasts, is built on rhythm, not rush. It's not about the 5 a.m. club or a checklist a mile long. It's about creating a ritual, a simple, meaningful sequence you return to every day that reminds you who you are and what you stand for. The brain thrives on repetition. Habits literally rewire neural pathways. Every time you honor your morning practice, no matter how small, you're reinforcing the belief, I am worth showing up for. That's not just psychology. That's philosophy. That's identity. And you know what? Some days your routine might only be 5 minutes. Some days you'll miss a step. That's okay. The point isn't perfection. The point is devotion. The point is choosing again and again to begin with presence, with care, with purpose. Because in the end, it's not the length of your routine that changes your life. It's the loyalty you bring to it. Ritual is how we remember who we are, and remembering who you are each morning, that's the most powerful success strategy of all.